the mission here today is going to be installing wing mirrors on this Can-Am Commander 4-seater. So why are we doing that? This is a cool machine, right? But when you're sitting inside, you don't have a lot of visibility. I know it's got the wing mirror over here, but it really leaves your left and right limits kind of exposed or kind of an unknown to figure out exactly how wide this vehicle is, right? Maybe you're trying to squeeze into a tight, back up out of a tight little space. Very hard to do that. So even backing out of this garage right now, I always have to stick my head out just so I can figure out where my limits are. So I'm hoping these mirrors here will help. So I ordered wing mirrors and I got the box right here. And this is what the kit looks like. So you've got the 2 mirrors and you've got the brackets that come along with it. And then you've got a little hardware kit. So the idea is to pop these on and see what happens. They come with instructions. But if I show you these instructions, they are not very helpful. I don't know who writes instructions for products, if they actually mean for the average person to be able to read these and actually get it done or not. I don't know. But looking at these instructions and then looking at the vehicle itself, I'm like, are we looking at different vehicles? I just don't think they're that good, especially for somebody like me. Maybe some of you are more mechanically inclined. You look at this, you're like, ah, yeah, I got it. Not me though. So I'm gonna put these aside and we're gonna get into this and kind of just work our way through it. I'm gonna bring the camera around so you guys can kind of take a look at this as well and see what we can make happen. All right, so the gist of it I'm getting is that this has to be removed, which is something the instructions say to do, is remove this, right? And it looks to me like it's held on by these screws down here, which we're gonna remove. So we remove those 2 screws, this pops off, and then we should be able to put in one of these brackets on either side, and then that should do it for us. So to get to these 2 screws right here, there's not a lot of room. So you're actually going to need to put some kind of masking tape, a piece of cloth or something like that on here so you don't mar up the plastics here. The first screw is kind of easy. The second one, there's just not a lot of room between these 2 things. So what I'm having to use is this articulating little guy here, and even that is not turning out to be very kind of useful for this project right here, because even this head is still too long when we do this. So see how it kind of rubs right in this section right here? That's what we're trying to avoid. So I'm just gonna have to try to hold it like this and kind of make it happen. So not ideal, but so that does that. So not a lot of room here, and that's unfortunate, but that's one of the screws right there. You can see that. This is the hard one, so now we're gonna do the easy one. And you actually don't need this articulation for this one that's closest to the steering wheel, but we already have it on there, so we're just gonna leave it on. Matter of fact, I'm going to remove this and just go by hand and remove it the rest of the way. Okay, and that's right. There, it looks like it's got some kind of thread locker or something on it, but that's the screw. Okay, so now that those 2 are removed, we can pop this off. And right now you're looking from the perspective of sitting in the driver's seat. So that's the view you've got right now. So we're going to try to pop this off. Okay, so that's what that looks like. So when this was on, you were able to see the front part of the screw, which is right here, but you couldn't get to the back of it where you're going to put one of the nuts that comes in this little package right here. So all the screws are all the same size and length, and there's 2 nuts in there and some washers. So now this is going to sit, let's see here. This is our bracket. It's going to sit just like that. So we'll put a screw in here. And on my 2022, it already comes with this little fitting right here. But the package also has a couple of brass fittings in there. In case you didn't have this, you could put one of those in there, and that's how you would kind of hold it into this screw hole, or into this hole right here. But we already have one in there, so we're just going to put the bracket right there, like so. I'm going to put a washer on this and feed that into that. All right, kind of like so. Then I'm going to grab another screw or bolt, washer, and this time I'll actually need one of the nuts in here. So, situation like that. This is going to go into this hole down here on this side, so I'll feed that right through there. I'll put my washer on there on this side, so the washer goes on like that. Feed that through there. And I'm going to use another washer for the other side as well. And these are going to be nylock washers, so you don't have to worry about them kind of undoing themselves, or you don't have to use thread locker, because you can see right there it's got that little bushing inside it that keeps it fastened. So no thread locker on that. And now I just have to hold the back of this while driving it in with my Torx. So it looks like it's going to be a wrench here. All right, so just my number 10 wrench, and then drive this in on the side with that same T25. And I don't need this articulating head. Right, I like to leave them a little loose and not just tighten one before the other, so now I'm going to work on this. There's no torque settings that I found, so I'm just going to try to tighten it, but without going too crazy, because it's just holding my wing mirrors. If it ever comes loose, this is one of those things I think I would put a little bit of thread locker in here. So if you're doing it and you want to do that, you probably get yourself a better connection and stop it from rattling out over time, because you know of how we use these machines. But I'm going to go without it and see what kind of disaster happens. So I'm going to tighten this one back up now. Okay, that seems secure enough. And then I'll bring you guys around so you can see what I'm talking about here. So if we come around like this, you can see this is the nut and where it went back here. And I was screwing it in from the front, and this was your perspective right here, and that's the nut. Okay. Okay, so now that that's on, we can put this piece back on if we wanted. And that just kind of clips right back into that. And we can now reattach the screws that were down here, which we put over here. So that goes there. And the other one goes right there. Once again, if you're a thread locker kind of person, you want to put your thread locker in here to make sure these don't rattle out over time. So there we go. And now I'm just going to screw that in, and then our wing mirror, we'll get to attaching it right there. So I would have thought that these would say Can-Am right here, but they do not. So that's kind of interesting to me since I bought them from Can-Am, but who knows, with all the shortages and stuff, maybe even those aren't, you know, whatever. Maybe they ran out of the stamp or whatever. So that's what I would use to orientate, or to kind of figure out where I'm supposed to have these facing, or which side they belong to, I should say. So I would use that. If that was upside down, I'd know that's the passenger side. But as it stands right now, I'm assuming I could just put this on here and it would be totally fine, because the shape doesn't really say left or right. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to use this screw thing right here, right, this bolt. I'm going to make this the bottom side, and so I can't use that one because I want this to be on the top. So this is obviously based on that for the other side. All right, so this one, you know what? It actually doesn't even matter, because at the end of the day, no matter what, these, it seems like exactly the same mirror. Like there's no left or right mirror. It's just a mirror. So we're just going to actually go with it. So this is going to end up on the upside anyways, which is something I was trying to avoid, but that ship looks like it sailed. We're going to get our little bolt or nut right here. Ooh, I almost dropped that. I would have been looking for it all night. So we'll get a washer. And this is threaded, so it's just going to screw right into those little inserts right there. Bolt washer. I'm going to let that hang there so I can actually see what I'm doing with the second one. Same thing, bolt washer. Put that in there. I can actually see it over here and then aim for the hole. All right. So this is not screwing in very easily for some reason. So I'm just going to do it on the outside first. before I actually put it on the vehicle here. Just, I don't want to force it because I don't want to cross thread it. So we'll do that. Okay, remove it. And then try again. So I like that they fold and get out of the way like that in case there was ever a need to do that. Now I can screw the rest of these, or these screws here, the rest of the way in. All right, and those don't need to be too tight. Get my articulating bit here. All right, and that is done. Fold this back out, and we are good to go. Remove that, and that's how you get that done. So, I'm going to focus on repeating the exact same thing on the other side, but that's how you get these mirrors on. It's not too complicated at all. I think if I wasn't recording, just 5 minutes, maybe 10 minutes on each side maximum, and you can get it done. Peace.